What's going on, YouTube? So Juan kind of inspired me to make this video. Somebody's got their fucking brights going. You see it flashing? They like hit that check light switch on the dash. I can see it. I can tell by the running lights that there's a Cascadia back there somewhere. But anyway, I'm gonna try to ignore it. I should have closed the curtains. Oh well, too late now. He kind of inspired me to make this video, and I've been putting it off because part of it is like, do I want to deal with the fallout of what I might say? Or do I want to deal with the fallout of what I'm going to say, if there is any? And then the other half is like, is it fucked up to say what I'm going to say? But I kind of listened to what Juan had to say. If he puts it out, you guys can listen to it too, but I'm not going to out him, if he doesn't want it out. But I listened to a video that he had made. He shared it privately. And, like when he made that video, I was kind of inspired to make one of similar nature, if that makes sense. And, a little more on the serious side today. But this video involves two people. One of them is someone named Old Snapper, trucking with Old Snapper on YouTube. His name is potentially Morgan Buckley, but it could be something else because he shared a birth certificate in the Discord, and it said the first name was James. So I'm like, is his name James Morgan, or is that a completely different birth certificate, or is his name not Morgan? It's like, I don't know. So, but he kind of reached out to some people and said that he was really sick and that he was, he had cancer and it was advanced, and he wasn't sure how much time he had. Kind of did like an apology tour, right? He's just like, look, I did this, I'm sorry, and it's like, how can you be mad at somebody who's on their way out and they're trying to make things right? I'm not going to talk shit to that person, and then like for me personally, he never really did anything bad to me. He kind of played around in the drama with me a little bit, but I mean, like, I know what community I'm in, right? I can't complain about that. I can't be mad at him for that. Like, that's where I chose to put myself. So all's fair in love and war, as the saying goes. So, but I think the issue that I have is, like, he says that he's dying, not necessarily that he's dying, but like he's very, very sick, right? But then he's like he's always in the Discord with us, and now he's making YouTube drama videos again. And I mean, granted, I'm grateful for the videos, right? Because it's boring if nobody's out here making content, right? It's like, there's two of us, basically, right? It's me and Elite. And then, you got, like, the guys that we talk about, like Ramos. He won't say my name, so he's never going to respond to anything I say about him. Same thing with Tommy. He's not going to respond to me. Trucking Together will come in my comments with like Martin's troll account and talk shit to me, but they're never going to make a response video, so it's like I enjoy nitpicking them, but you're never going to get a response out of them, right? So it's always going to be one-sided. So we do need more, players in the game, as Logic Neo would have called it. But I just find it weird that he's like on this apology tour, and he he's acting like he's not going to be here for much longer, but then he's like wasting like the last precious months of his life on this bullshit. I mean, if that's what he wants to do, I mean, do what you want to do, right? It's your life, but it just seems odd to me. And he told me that he was in the hospital originally because he had a bile duct blockage, which is why he was all jaundiced. So it's like, this community has everybody so paranoid about lies. I'm like, is he actually sick? It's like, I feel like a piece of shit for thinking that. I want to believe the guy, but it's like, if you were sick and you were gonna die, why would I be the last guy you want to talk to? You know what I mean? You know, I get it, right? Like in real life, you know, off the YouTube shit, I'm very likable. I'm a humble person, you know, like I sometimes I pretend to be arrogant in these videos because I know it'll annoy the person that I'm trying to annoy. But in real life, you know, I'm friendly, you know, and so, but at the same time, I'm also a stranger to him, you know, like friendly or not, I'm a stranger to him. He doesn't know me. We were never close on YouTube, you know, so it's like you're at the end of your life, potentially, right? If what he's saying is true, you know, how he's speaking is true. And it's like you choose to use those last precious moments that you may have with us. You know, it seems off to me. Like the whole thing feels like a work, and I'm like, are you just pretending to be sick to build some cases and then you're gonna backstab everybody, or like what's really going on, you know? And again, I feel crappy to think like that, but it's like that's what this community is like somebody's always scheming something, you know, somebody's always looking for their next video, their next content. And this isn't any kind of an attack on Snapper, you know, like I don't have anything personal against him. Like I said, he's never wronged me in any significant way. I know he's done some things to other people, but I wasn't one of them, right? So I mean, you know, I don't care. Like he's welcome in the Discord. I don't have anything personal against him, but I do find it odd. And I did support Juan's message, you know, and again, he, you know, that's something that he kind of kept in private, so I'm not going to speak on it. But you know, if he puts it out, you know, if he puts that video out, I support what he says in that video. Like I felt it was justified. I don't think it was disrespectful or unreasonable. I think it was a very reasonable response from somebody who wants answers, you know. So that's the first part of this video. The second part of this video is Joey Eyeglasses, and this one was a tough one because for reasons I can't explain, I had a soft spot for Joey, right? I just felt bad for Joey. I didn't want to be shitty to Joey. I didn't want to attack Joey. I didn't want to be mean to Joey. I didn't want to get content out of Joey. And I don't know why. I had no reason not to. We weren't close friends, anything like that. You know, he wasn't particularly kind to me. But for some reason I had this soft spot for Joey. Like I always stand up for Joey. I didn't want to be mad at Joey. And again, I can't explain it, right? I can't explain it, but I can't do it anymore. And, you know, Juan's kind of confession on how he felt about Snapper led me to, like, I can't pretend to not feel the way that I do about Joey, right? Like, I knew who Joey was because he was in our little community, but I didn't know Joey, right? Like, I wasn't really big in NFG. I wasn't big in any of the groups that were before that. I was always a troll. I was always what I am, right? I would make videos and troll the fuck out of people. That's what I did. So I knew who Joey was, but I didn't know him. And he was having one of his moments, right, where he's losing his shit. And what I've noticed is whenever he loses his shit, he'll buddy up with everybody, right? He'll act like he's your friend, but he's doing that to everybody. And he'll go around and try to gather up allies, get attention and sympathy from these people. And it's a cycle. Narc has said it before. He was 100% right that Joey goes through these cycles. And while he was doing this, I tried to appeal to him, like, why are you hanging out with people that are mocking your dead dad, right? Or your dead fucking dad is what I said. And that word choice, even though I wasn't mocking his father, right? My whole meaning was I was questioning why he would want to hang out with people that were mocking his father, who was supposed to have been dead. And he didn't like the way that I said it, right? Because I said dead fucking dad. And that little mistake of wording right there, that little misuse of verbiage, is all it took for him to have an excuse to trash the living fuck out of my wife and my daughter, right? And again, I'm not innocent, right? I talk shit on the internet all the time. But when it came to Joey, I hadn't done anything to him. So the attack, from my perspective, was completely out of left field. And he just absolutely just shredded my wife and my daughter, right? Just talking 9 miles of shit. Threatened to call CPS on me, which he did not do, right? There was people that tried to claim that he was the one that did it. I know for a fact that he did not. But even then I was just like, don't be part of the problem, right? Don't attack this guy. He's going through some serious shit. He doesn't need more negativity. He needs something positive, right? He needs somebody to kind of like, to be in his corner, right? Which is what he was going for, right? It was manipulation. So I told him, I'm like, look, dude, I understand you're upset. I'm sorry that I worded it the way that I worded it, but that's not what I meant, right? I wasn't making fun of your father. I wasn't mocking his death or anything like that. You know, I was trying to appeal to you, right? And, you know, he kind of backed off of it. He never apologized, though, right? Like, I apologized for what I said, which, again, I said dead fucking dad, and I wasn't making fun of his dead father. I was questioning why he would hang out with people that were, you know? And, you know, I apologized for that, and he never apologized to me, right? He was like, well, you know, what I said wasn't even that bad because none of it was true. So basically, he just didn't take accountability. He was like, I made it up, so I don't have to apologize because nothing I said was real. And I just let it go. I'm just like, this dude's going through some shit. I'm not going to fucking pick on him and be an asshole and, you know, generate content out of it. Well, then I start talking to him on the phone. And it's like, I'll give him advice. I'll tell him to do something. And he says like, oh yeah, you're probably right. You know, he'll say stuff like that, but then he doesn't listen at all. And in my head, I have a vision. I'd be like, dude, you need to stop putting all your bullshit on the internet because it's not good for you. Nobody on here has anything positive to say. No one on here is looking to help you. No one on here is your friend, right? They're going to use it as ammo to drag you down and make you feel worse. And I would tell him this all the time, right? Like on the phone, you know, I'd tell him this in a phone call, man to man. I'm like, dude, you need to stop doing this. You know, like, I understand like the internet is fun and everything, but it's like, you're not in a mental space to be in this space. And you say, yeah, you're probably right? But in my head, I could see him like holding the phone. He's like, yeah, you're probably right. Anyway, I gotta go, man. I'll talk to you later. And as soon as he hangs up, he's live on YouTube. Did you know my wife got molested? And it's like, why are you telling people on the internet this, right? Assuming it's real. You know, and that's the thing, is like, when it comes to Joey, it's like every claim that he makes, every story that he tells, I have to question its credibility because of how many times he lies about everything. He messaged me a short video about, he's talking to his daughter, his older daughter, not the one that's in the truck with him. And it's just some audio. The picture was blurry for me. I don't know if it was me or if that's how the video was, but he's talking to his older daughter, and you know, he's trying to make it seem like you know, he's talking to her about people from NFG, like, you know, messaging her and harassing her on her phone. And the whole thing came across to me as scripted and fake, and he's like, I was gonna put this out, but and it's like, no, dude, you are vengeful as fuck. You will attack anybody for the slightest reason, and you're gonna tell me that you would have bombshell evidence like that and you were just not gonna put it out. But as soon as Narc goes live and holds up his phone and goes, isn't this your phone number, Joey? This isn't your daughter. I was texting you and you lied and said it was your daughter. You were pretending to be your daughter, right? And then conveniently after Narc does that, all of a sudden you have video evidence of you and your daughter talking about people messaging her that are strangers. I just find that hard to believe. You know, I can't prove that it's not real, but just based on the lies that you come up with, it feels like it's a fucking work, and that you're just lying to people to try to get everybody to see your side of the story, right? And you'll put your daughter at risk by putting her on the internet to save your stupid ass, which I have a problem with. And then you did the same thing to your wife. You kind of like throw her under the bus to save your own skin, right? Like, supposedly he emailed Narc and asked Narc to leave him alone, and basically Narc kind of implied that he made it seem like it was his wife's fault, right? Which tracks, because that's how he's acted in the past. And I'm like, that's fucked up, right? You're gonna trash other people's living, you're gonna trash other people's relationships, you're gonna trash other people's significant others when your whole life is a fucking train wreck, and you're always a hair, like a cunt hair away from just losing your shit and attacking everybody around you for no reason in the most unhinged manner. Just fucking random live feeds that have no sense, oversharing like a motherfucker, just outright embarrassing yourself. At this point, I'm like, are you doing it on purpose so that if somebody screen records your video, then you can like double back on them and like they can be like, look what Joey said, and you're like, wow, you're weird, dude, I had my shirt off in that video, or wow, you're weird, dude, my stepdaughter was in that video. Like, is that what it is? You know, is it a work too? I don't know. But you know, and in Snapper's video that he did, his comeback drama video, you know, he talks about some of the stuff that was in your live feed, which means that he saw it, right? Narc talked about some of the stuff that was in your live feed, right? Like your wife driving on your logs, you know, like there was other things, right? I can't remember all of them, but I should have been more prepared. But I mean, I heard these, and the whole time I'm like, dude, I've told you to not fucking do this, and you don't listen, right? You trash the fuck out of me and my family because I said something in a way that you didn't like, even though I didn't mean it in a malicious way, right? I wasn't attacking you. You just didn't like the way I worded it. So that was all the excuse you needed to trash the fuck out of my wife and daughter, right? And then you go and do the exact opposite of all the advice that I gave you, all the advice that other people have likely given you, right? You're laying in the sleeper, your wife is driving, and she hears you on a YouTube live and goes, I thought you said you were tired, that's why I was driving on your logs. But now you're doing YouTube. And I'm like, dude, you're a fucking dick, dude. You're making your wife drive for you, basically drive her shift and yours, so that you can be in the sleeper to get attention on the internet? Like, that's fucked up, dude. And then you're so concerned about Winzard and Narc being PDF files, right, that they're talking about your daughter, right? Well, then you're standing over, I screen recorded it because it pissed me off so much. You're standing over a little tiny baby. I don't know how old that baby is, but you're standing right over this little baby. You got no shirt on. Your gross wife, and I'm sorry to say that, but she is gross. She acts like a whore on camera all the time. It's not attractive. It's not a flex. It's quite frankly disgusting. And the fact that she would do it in front of her daughter is pathetic. You know, she's ended live feeds before, like, I'm about to go get some dick. Like, we get it, Joey. You can get laid sometimes. Like, we're all of us, like, a bunch of us are married out here. You know, a bunch of us have kids. I don't understand why you're flexing the fact that you can get laid sometimes like it's back in high school and you just lost your virginity. But anyway, not the point. So she's in the driver's seat. You're standing over the baby. She grabs your titty because you got your shirt off, and she's like saying something sexual, and then you're like, oh, you about to get my dick hard. Standing over a baby after trying to convince everybody that Winzard and Narc are somehow disgusting pedophiles, right? And I don't like those guys, but I can't just pretend that you're right and they're wrong just because I don't like them when you're making these absolutely fucking unhinged psychopathic videos that I've told you repeatedly do nothing for you, right? It's nothing but ammo against you, but you don't fucking listen, right? And then after saying that, the baby goes, shit! And you look at her and go, did she just say shit? So the baby's already cussing because you got the two trailer trashiest motherfuckers in the world trapped in a truck with this poor baby. I feel so bad for that little girl. I feel so bad. She's doomed, dude. She is fucking doomed. Her life is not going to be good with you two as her fucking parents. And I don't care if you're mad, dude. I already know, right? If I say the wrong thing, anything in this video, right, is an excuse enough for you to trash the fuck out of me. But I look at you as Willie's Pub. There's nothing I can say to you that can do any more damage to you than you've already done to your own life, right? I've said it about Willie's Pub. I'm like, how do you hit somebody? How do you knock someone down that's already at rock bottom? You know, what do you say, right? They say something about your wife. What do you say back when their world is so much worse than yours? I think you need to get off the internet. I think you need to reevaluate your life. I think you need to do some serious searching, because whatever's going on with you is fucking psychopathic. It is unhinged as fuck, right? And if you're pretending to be crazy for attention, I mean, that's not a good strategy, because none of these people on here have any fucking compassion for you, and they're just gonna make fun of you, and they're gonna talk shit about you, and they're gonna get you in trouble. They're gonna record you and send it to people. If you don't think they're gonna find out where you work, you're fucking insane, because I knew you were lying to me when you told me where you worked. Because you said, oh, we don't work for the Russians, they all think we do. We work for her uncle, and we're driving his truck, blah, 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 blah. And then you're like, oh, well, safety department called us, and the voice you used for the safety department guy was a Russian accent. So I'm supposed to believe that your Midwest white wife's family is just hiring Russians to run departments in their company? I find that highly unlikely, right? That just shows to me that you do work for the Russians, but you'll lie to everybody, including me, and I was supposed to be one of your, like, good friends or whatever. I don't know if we're friends or not. I don't know what you would call it, right? But I'm, like, not one of your enemies, right? But you still don't trust me enough not to lie. You lied about the N-bomb thing with your wife. You made it sound like she was in a heated argument with that Trip guy. Not that I like him, but made it seem like she was in a heated argument, and it got blurted out in a moment of anger, right? Still not okay, but it is a different scenario than the reality, right? He puts out the screen recording. He's nowhere to be found, right? Like, maybe he's in your guys' comments. I don't know. It sounds like she's talking about him after the fact, so it's not like he was there arguing with her. And then she just blurts the fucking word out with all the comfort in the world, as if that's something that she says all the time, which she might, because you've said it, right? So you know that I have a black family, right? Unlike this guy Trucks, who has a brown family where they're just like tan white people. Like, my wife is black, and all my extended family on her side is all black, right? But you want me to help you defend your wife from using the N-bomb. Like, it doesn't make sense, right? Like, you know I'm not going to be okay with that. Even my own wife won't use that word, right? She says N-word like I do. And she's black. She could say it if she wanted to. She doesn't, right? But you and your wife seem very comfortable fucking throwing that word out there, which puts you on the same level as fucking weirdos like Yukon and fucking Winzard. I'm pretty sure Winzard's used an N-bomb before. But, or even John, Tanker Yank and John. I don't think he's ever dropped an N-bomb. But that dude's racist as fuck. If you listen to him talk in the fucking Discord, I mean, he might have dropped an N-bomb when he was over in James Best Live arguing with Moet, but that dude's a straight up racist, you know. And so it puts you on the same fucking the same level as those guys, right? But you want me to defend you? Like, it doesn't make sense, right? And everything that you put out on the internet, none of it is positive, right? None of it is in your favor. There might be something there with the hot dog stand stuff, like that is interesting. You know, that's like neutral content. You know, it's good viewing or whatever. But that's not what your channel is, right? Your channel is just you being unhinged and crazy all the time, right? And it's like, how do you think your wife feels, right? Because I know you presented yourself in a way that's different from how you actually are, right? You didn't just show up to her as a psychopath. You presented yourself differently. Now she's going to see these videos of you acting like a complete fucking psycho, and she's going to question your guys' relationship, right? Because it's like, imagine she marries you thinking you're a certain kind of way, only to find out that you've been lying about who you really are this whole time as all these videos of who you are start to come out, right? So, I don't know, Joey, you need to get your shit together, but I'm not the one to help you do it. I can't defend you. I can't pretend that any of your bullshit is real. I just can't do it, man. I'm not going to be made a fool of by you. That's for damn sure. And, I mean, if you want to fucking, you know, lose your shit on me or whatever because of what I said, that's fine, whatever. You know, I'm just going to talk shit about you back. It is what it is. I'm not going to be nice this time around. Like, everybody gets one, right? You got your one chance. I forgave you the one time, even though you never apologized. That was it. As far as I'm concerned, that ship has sailed because you're lying. You're digging a deeper fucking hole, right? You could just go away, right? You could just go away. All these people talking about you, they're we're all of us realistically are irrelevant, right? We're a small, tiny corner of the internet that 99.9% of the world's population doesn't even fucking know exists, right? You're so concerned about what somebody like Winzard or Narc might say, when if it wasn't for us watching them, nobody would watch them, right? Narc's got 200 subscribers. Winzard goes live every other month and listens to disco in the dark in his dilapidated house and then deletes the live feed, right? It's like, why do you care what they think about you, right? Why do you care what anybody thinks about you? You put more stock into your YouTube bullshit than you do in your own fucking life. You know, your wife is sitting there begging you, feed the baby, come lay in bed with me. What are you doing on the internet? And you're blowing them both off to be on here to argue with people who don't give two fucks about you. And then the people that do actually give you a little compassion and try to give you good advice and try not to be a dick to you, you lie to them to try to get them to put their necks out for you against people that are no different than anybody else, right? Like, you're not any different from Narc or Winzard or me or anybody else, right? You're just a YouTube trucker drama guy, right? I mean, even that's generous, because at least a lot of the other guys out here aren't quite as insane as you know. But every video, you're just digging the hole deeper. You're digging the hole deeper, right? You get called out in a lie, so you just create another lie to stack on top of the other lie, stack on top of the other lie, stack on top of the other lie. You know, it's just a huge fucking teetering tower of lies. And it's like, the fact that it falls over all the time. That's the thing, is it's not that it hasn't fallen over yet. It falls over all the time. You just pick it back up and then you add more on top of it, and then it falls over again. It just keeps spiraling and spiraling and spiraling. Like, this feels like a Mad TV skit watching you. It doesn't feel real. I'm like, this can't be a real reaction from a real human being. But it is. Like, that's you losing your shit in real time on the internet, right? You claim you had a therapist. I mean, if that was true, you need to go back, because obviously it didn't take, right? You still need to talk to somebody. But all of us in this little trucking dramasphere are not the fucking people to talk to, right? Narc isn't gonna listen to you and give you friendly advice. He's gonna fucking make fun of you, right? Winzard's never gonna apologize to you and be like, don't worry, Joey, I got your back, I'm gonna be here for you. He's gonna make fucking fun of you. So get the fuck off the internet already and go get your head right before you try to come here and be involved in any of this, right? This is how deep the craziness goes, right? I can't prove it, this is speculation, but I was in the Discord, I was talking to Snapper. He said, hey, let's share pictures of where we're at and see if you guys can guess where we're at based on the scenery. So we're playing this little game, right? It's harmless. I was in Florida at the time. I was down by Tampa, right? You were not in the Discord. Ashley was in the Discord texting, right? But then, as soon as I told Snapper where I was, you text me and said, oh, we'll be down in Orlando tomorrow, right? So did Ashley just tell you that quickly that I was down there by Tampa the other day? Or were you on her account pretending to be her, talking about yourself like a weirdo, right? That's what it seems like to me, right? And again, I can't prove that, but the timing definitely is weird. But it's like, if that's what you've gotten to, where you're trying to get everybody else to throw themselves under the bus for yourself, you need to take a step back and think about what's going on in your life, right? So again, this isn't an attack on you. I'm not trying to shit on you. I know it's going to feel that way, but I sincerely am telling you, because you don't listen to me in person, or, you know, over the phone, not in person, but you don't listen to me on the phone when I tell you this, to like, stop fucking acting like this. So maybe you'll listen to a YouTube video, since YouTube's more important, right? I don't know. But you need to fucking get off this shit. You need to stop going live and making a fool of yourself and giving your enemies fucking ammo to use against you. You need to fucking figure out what's going on in your life, and you need to do something about it. And you need to do something about it really fucking quick, because you're spiraling so badly right now, it's not even a fucking joke. So, I don't know, guys. But that's what I got for this one. I just, like I said, I watched Juan's video and I was like, I got some shit to say and I need to say it. And, you know, whatever happens from here on out, like I said, I mean, Joey's like a coin toss. It's like he might listen to what you say and go, wow, that was really insightful. Thank you for sharing that. Or he'll lose his mind and explode. Like, you don't know, right? So all I can do is wait for him to react to this if he sees it. And then we'll know which direction he chooses to go, right? I don't care. I'm not going to play nice again. I'm not going to let him trash the shit out of my family without me doing a rebuttal back, like even if it has to get really nasty. I don't care. But I'm not going to be made a fool of. I'm not going to have somebody lie to me like I'm a fucking idiot about a situation. You know, like I'm smart enough to put 2 and 2 together at least. But anyway, guys, it is what it is. But I just had to get that off my chest. I think it's important to just be honest as much as you can be. And again, the goal isn't to be an asshole or to be mean or belittling. It's just to be honest. But anyway, guys, we'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching. I'm going to try to put the Discord link in the description of the video. If you guys aren't in the Discord, more than welcome to come in there. Even if you don't like me, if you want to just go in there and tell me to go eat a bag of dicks, you're welcome. You know, you just won't get promoted to a higher room. But anyway, guys, hope everyone has a good one. We'll see you in the next one.